So just a quick update. It's about 20 minutes after 5 West Coast time on Saturday, April 5th. I've been watching some MAGA TikToks, and they're crashing out. They're crashing out over today's nationwide protests that have taken place in hundreds of cities from coast to coast. And it's probably 1 or 2 million people, if not more, who showed up at these things. They got over 100,000 people in Washington, D.C. 100,000 people in Washington, D.C. Not one of them broke into the Capitol. Weird. But they're crashing out. I've seen at least a dozen TikToks from MAGA chuds saying that every single one of these people who showed up to these protests is being paid by George Soros. That's their talking point. All of these protesters that showed up today are being paid. They are not processing this well. And I'm sure a lot of these folks are seeing these protests where they live. I saw one video of course, some big, corpulent MAGA supporter in a jacked up white pickup truck. He took the license plates off. He stopped in the middle of a huge protest in, I think it was Kansas City. The protesters were not blocking the street. But he stopped and got out of his truck to go fight with protesters on the side of the road. And they were 10 deep on the sidewalk. And he stopped to go fight with them. Of the people in that interaction, I would guess that he was the one who was paid to do that, as opposed to vice versa. But I've just scrolling through TikTok today, man. I saw dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of lives of people at their protests, literally from coast to coast and everywhere in between. Even in red states, people were showing up in red states, in deep red towns. I talked to my dad earlier today. He said that a couple of hundred people showed up on the town square in Mansfield, Ohio. And if you know anything about Mansfield, Ohio, that is MAGA country. It's where I was born. And people showed up everywhere today. White people showed up everywhere today. And of course, MAGA thinks that every single one of them was getting paid. And the vast majority of the MAGA chuds think they were getting paid by George Soros. They're not handling it well. They're not processing it well.